Hello everyone! Today we will draw the ear, an important but often underrated part of the portrait. I will show you how to simplify the shape of the ear and, with the help of light and shadow, show its volume. Don't worry if this seemed difficult before. Together we will figure it out step by step. Let's begin. So friends, let's draw the ear. The first thing we will start with is shading the light areas. They will be the same tone as our skin, since the ear is also in the light up to this line. Let's quickly mark it, so we don't go past it. I think probably it will go like this. So this part will be in the light. Here it will go slightly into halftone. Here it will be lighter, here a little darker. And I'll probably take an H pencil and begin shading the whole surface. We can also shade over the earring, because it will also be light. So, we shaded. Now let's take a blending stump and smooth it. Now let's deepen the halftone. We can also try doing this with an H pencil, because it's not very dark. So we'll just add a second layer. It will gradually, here on this cartilage, transition into light. Let's also add a shadow here on the temple and smoothly blend it into halftone on the ear. And blend. Now let's take a 2B pencil and draw this band. On the upper part of the ear. Also, under the ear there will be a shadow. We can draw that too. And here too there will be a shadow from the hair. So we can outline the ear here and basically go along the entire lower edge. Next, here, the shadow will go under the earlobe. We show it a little. And here on the neck, there will be a slightly lighter shadow. And we blend for smoothness. Also, at the top, we'll have a small shadow. We can show it with the blending stump too. We can take an HB pencil and lightly show the cheekbone line. A little shadow. Also here, there will be a small shadow from the earring. And in principle, some shadows we can show with the blending stump itself. Since it has graphite residue, we can draw with it too. For now, we just outline the main transitions and main bends. Here we'll have shadow. And inside it will be a little lighter. Here there will be a fold. Then below there will be such a rounded fold. And here too we can show a shadow. Further, this fold will go down to here. And now we'll start adding shadows, comparing them with the photo in tone. Here we'll make the shadow a little lighter. Here we can also make it about the same tone for now. Inside it will be darker. because this is a recess. Let's add with a 2B pencil. Make it a little darker. Here we'll have a shadow with a smooth gradient. For now, let's mark it like this. And now take the blending stump and make a smooth transition. I think we can make it even darker. A little more shading under the hair. The shadow should have a smooth transition, not be harsh, so I'll take a 2H pencil and add blending on the edges of the shadow, just a little lighter, to make the transition smooth. Here the transition will be shorter. The main thing is not to leave visible lines we outlined. Now let's add a little more tone here. It will be a little darker. And let's draw the darkest areas and then work from them. That is, the darkest areas are here. Such a shadow. And here. Let's take a softer pencil. 2H is too hard. Let's take 2B. Here, the shadow will go like a triangle. Here will be the hair. We will show it with an eraser, most likely. Here will be a dark area. And I think the ear here will be a little sharper, like this. And shade the shadow. We can shade with a transition right away, then draw the hair later. A little darker. We can deepen this shadow. Same here. Let's blend this area, deepen it a little, and then the transition will go downward. Now shade inside. This part will also leave a little lighter. Slightly erase here. And upward it fades. This part will also be darker. And take an HB pencil and make this curl a little lighter. If it got lost, that means the shadow around it needs to be deepened. I'll take 2B again and add, or even HB. Add shadow. Now let's make all these shadows softer. Take the blending stump and blend them. Here will be the main transition into halftone. Next, blend darker here. And inside also blend everything. Only a little softer, because it's lighter here. Here we can add a little more shadow. And here the hair will already start. We can add shadow around the earring now, so it will be easier to draw it. So, and here a lighter shadow will go. I won't match the shadow exactly, but that's not important now. Just roughly show it. I think that's enough for now. Here is such a thin line. Next, here we'll have a little shadow. Make it smoother. Let's better define the shadows on the ear. Here, the cartilage got lost. Looks like it goes higher here, and then it rounds like this. Let's deepen the shadows where necessary and make smooth transitions. Here. It will be a little darker, this cartilage inside the ear. So it doesn't stand out too much here. Make it a little darker. Maybe make it a little darker in some places. Here, no, on the contrary, I went a bit too far. Here we can slightly remove. Like this. And here slightly deepen. And here. And a little darker to make it more contrast. Here, on the contrary, we need to remove shadow. It's not that distinct here. And let's take an H pencil and fill in the areas that got too light. Next, we see here, it will be darker. And here too, darker. Here, lighten. And also show with a very thin line this fold here. Blend it a little. Here too, it will be a little lighter. And here, lighten a little. About like this. And here, even darker. Here we can also add a little more. And smoothly fade into shadow on the temple. Then it will go here, under the hair. And take the blending stump and make the transition smoother. Here we can also deepen a little more. A little darker. Just a touch. So we don't lose the ear shape. And here too. The shape got a little lost. Now we'll redraw it. And here slightly remove. Here I think we need to remove a little with the kneaded eraser. It got too dark. And here too we can remove. Here we can make it a little darker. Make the transition between shadows a little smoother too. Here we need to show a semicircle. So we'll make a more rounded shadow. Also here, adjust the shadow a little, because it goes a bit like this. With a semicircle, adjust slightly more. Here too, add a little rounded shadow. And here, under the hair also casts a shadow. We'll draw it a little. I think it looks quite good at this stage. We can draw a hair. I like to do this with an eraser like this. I put it on the edge and with a sharp movement make such a semicircle. It goes from here, like this. And now make it thinner. Add where the shadow got erased, make the line thinner. Where there is a light part, we will draw a little bit, on the contrary, instead of erasing, with a very thin line. We can do the same with a kneaded eraser. If we shape it thin, we can make such a line. And here also finish drawing the ear, where it got erased. And add shadow where it's missing. We can also add here such a hair or whatever it is. Draw it with a kneaded eraser. Here, the shadow also got erased. We'll add it back. Make it rounded to show the form. And this shadow, too, I think should be darker. Like this. I think for now, I'll leave it as is. Maybe later, at the end, we'll deepen it all, if shadows are not enough. Now, let's draw the earring. It is almost completely in the light. So we'll only draw some light shadows. Like here. Hints of shine. Here it almost merges with the ear. Here on the edge we'll add a little shadow, and here a bit. Then here. Here is such a little line, a little darker. Going down, this part is almost all light. Except here a little. We can show it in the corner. And here a small darkening. Next, let's make this connection a little thinner. And this main jewel, let's start with the darkest shadows. Here it will go like this, approximately. Then comes a square facet. Let's lightly mark it. And here another. Even more trapezoid-shaped. First, draw the dark parts and go from dark to light. Here, a little shadow. We can lightly shade. Slightly show contour here with a thin line. Here some lines. Shade a little here. Then here will be such a semicircular line, you could say. Here it goes down a bit like this. These parts, upper and lower, are the brightest, lightest, so we'll shade a little inside so they stand out at least a bit. Of course, now they don't really stand out, but when we add tone on the neck, they will stand out more. Let's take an HB pencil and slightly deepen the shadows to make it a little more contrasting. I think that's enough detail. Let me slightly adjust here. And I think we can stop here. Great work! Now you have a basic understanding of how to draw the ear and how to show its volume with light and shadow. Don't forget, the most important thing is practice and observation. Thank you for continuing to draw with me. See you in the next lesson.